Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 7 of the 2020 Formula 2 Championship at Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. Yes, Formula 2 is back at Paul Ricard for the second season, or the third season in a row. We're here for the third running of the French GP. 20 minutes of qualifying ahead of us. Adam Hidayat is the first man out on track. In the commentator booth today, it is me, your commentator, me and FG, and joining me once again for this very lovely occasion, it is Jamie. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Miran. Here we are once again in Power Card. We're actually using the full layout this time for our Formula 2 round here, part of the European leg as well. We're still in the South European area as we head here for qualifying, and we can see here for Adam Hidiat as he completes his lap.
Indeed, very, very interesting track. We're in the south of France, obviously. And we got clear skies ahead of us as well, so things should be looking quite nice. But as Hidayat will make his way around the circuit, let us go through the laps. So, or the circuit, should I say? The circuit Paul Ricard, named after the French business magnate Paul Ricard, who funded the circuit. It is located in Le Castellet, near the French city of Marseille. The track was opened in 1970, 52 years ago. After having been planned only a year before that, it hosted Formula One only a year later in 1971 and would go on to hold it intermittently all the way to 2022, with a bit of a break in the 1990s due to safety concerns. The track was renovated in the late 2000s, obviously, and Formula One would eventually return to the track. Yeah, mostly you've had Formula One be a staple at this track. You've got things like the 1,000 kilometers of Paul Ricard for GT World Challenge. You've got the 4 hours of Le Castellet, which the European Le Mans series do run, and then you have had a few different series as well. You've had the French Motorcycle Grand Prix, MotoGP, have come here, but that was all the way up until 1999. But this layout, which is the full layout we're running, as opposed to Porsche Super Cup, it is 5.842 kilometers long, 15 turns, and a race lap record of, in real life, about 144.5. But this track, quite fast, quite flowing. It's got a lot of straights and not a lot of elevation at all. So it's a very unusual track. Lots of runoff. However, those strips of runoff obviously are very, very abrasive on the tires. So you don't actually want to run wide a lot. But yeah, it is a very interesting track. It's got a lot of old school elements, even though it has been refurbished for Formula One use.
Yep, as we see. Sorry.
No, continue.
We just seen the laps come in, but I do agree with him with regards to a lot of runoff as well, as we've seen in comparison to Mugello, where we've seen quite a few drivers struggling because of the track width, specifically in Mugello. It's very narrow, probably one of the narrowest in the calendar. So to have with a lot of runoff and a lot of racing room, it'll be definitely a fresh air breath of fresh air for these drivers here, and we can see a lot of overtakes here in this full layout here in Paul Ricard.
Yeah, it is gonna be quite interesting, but we have had some very, very exciting races here in the past. Obviously, we came here for the first time in 2018, and it would be now Formula One driver Kai Chereznia who would take his second win second and final win of his Formula 2 career before ultimately moving up to Formula 1 in the same season. 2019, it would go to Emil Nilsson, who would claim his first Formula 1 win. So, historically, at the circuit, everyone who has won here has gone on to race in Formula 1. Could that be a sign of anything, possibly?
Possibly, but don't rule anything out as it seems, because Fraser currently has set the provisional fastest lap. But championship leader Eric Adelberg, he's usually strong in qualifying, but we're seeing him down at 10th, which is quite unusual for the Swiss driver at the moment, considering his performances in recent races.
Yeah, it is absolutely incredible to see him up there. And the big question is if his podium streak, or his record podium streak, will continue. The Swiss driver who has a 50-point lead over the man who currently is on pole position, Daniel Fraser. And while we're on that topic, it is currently Daniel Fraser who is on top. As the 22 times have come in on the board, and you got Ari Soiler there in second from Ollie Boaks, and look at Carlin, third and fourth at the moment.
It's very interesting to see Carlin perform very incredibly impressively as well, considering they're eighth in the team signings currently at the moment. This could be a really good points haul for them to push up the gap to the drivers, the teams ahead of them for sure. But folks said Vets can be very proud with that performance as well.
Yeah, and good that things might be on the change for Ollie as well, who currently lies second to last in the championship. It really hasn't been his ideal first half of the season for the Porsche Super Cup champion, which is a shame to see. The man obviously has raced here in the past, finished P4 here in Porsche Super Cup as Jean-Francois Bilot goes across the line. No improvement for the Frenchman though, but at the moment we haven't had a lot of improvements from the initial times set yet, but obviously there's still 12 minutes to go in the session.
Yeah, you can see at the minimap everyone is very spaced out. There's hardly any traffic here, which is sort of the benefit of having such a full-length track, because if it will be in the Porsche Super Cup short layout, you can expect to see a lot of cars trying to set clean air lap times, which won't be possible. Although we've got a lot of a race length, or the track length, there's still a bit of little trains around, per se.
Indeed. A few guys are quite close together on track, and a few more are a bit spaced out. Adam Hidayat, quite lonely at the moment as he heads down the Mistral Straight and down into the turn 8 and 9 chicane at the moment. The man who's down in 19th, which is a bit of a shame to see. Currently lies P14 in the championship, just 3 points behind his trident teammate Eduardo Silva. So those two battling it away for the midfield championship positions. Obviously, Trident, who lies 7th in the Constructors' Championship as well. We'll probably be aiming for a good result here at France, but right now, unfortunately, it is looking like both of their drivers are out of the points, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'll be very unfortunate if Trident, especially the position that they're currently in, do not score any points. Because at the moment, as the way Carlin stands at the moment, their position can be under risk from this massive improvement from both Carlin drivers, and even being high up as well. Carlin can actually gain more than a few places, maybe even High Tech as well, if they maintain this position through the race.
Indeed, it'll be interesting to see if High Tech, obviously, who looked really strong in the first few races of the season, especially Chowdhury, is going to be able to claw their way back here at France. But at the moment, it is looking like it is the underdog's time to shine. You've got Ari Soilu there in second from Ollie Boaks in third, and then Remus McGregor in fifth as well, and Håkon Olsen in sixth. Really well done from all those guys, it has to be said. especially for Boaks and Olsen, who have struggled to get into the top 10 many times this season. Obviously, Boaks only sits with his P10 finish at the British Grand Prix in the first round of the season. Other than that, he's not been in the points, unfortunately for him, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, there's truly something magical about Paul Ricard so far this series, which kind of benefits those that have been a bit unlucky. We've seen this in the Porsche Super Cup as well, like race when Henry Brown ended up finishing last, surprisingly, and now we're seeing similar struggles with Eric Alderberg, who's barely making into that point scoring position. He's still in 10th at the moment, and he's out on track, and he can't seem to displace these underperformers or underdogs per se, currently holding in the top 6 as well. So this will certainly be a race to behold if this is going to be that the grid is going to stand at the moment.
Yeah, right now we haven't seen any major improvements from the guys in the top 10. It's been unchanged since we saw the laps come in, which is really weird, I have to say. Usually we'd expect a lot of improvements, but yeah, maybe they will come a bit later in the session. There's still 8 minutes to go. Speaking of, as I just do say that, Remus McGregor crosses the line and goes ahead of Ide Weitz. Nice stuff from the man in the HWA, as he now sits at 150.1. As we look at Ide Weitz's lap, who, as he is just heading down the Mistral straight into the left-hander of turn number 10, Senior, obviously a lot faster than those Porsche Super Cup cars we saw here yesterday, as now through the double corners of Beausset, obviously just marked as one corner officially, turn number 11, but it is known as the double corners now into the more flowing sector 3 through Bandor, turn number 12, and Garlabanus. Alex Broster now goes up into second, and he is 8 thousandths of fellow countryman Daniel Fraser. So it is a British 1-2 at the top at the moment, and Broster has also made it a Campos 2-3.
We were praising about Carlin's performance as well, but my word, Campus's performance of 2-3 is really good there. So very impressive there from Broster. He's actually closed up as much to the pole position as a minute, so I think if he's still going on his second run, I think there might be a bit of a chance if we can see him maybe topple Fraser for pole.
Yeah, this could be very, very interesting to see. Alex with very good pace got so close, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do it again. Here's Tunnetorn Konkum, side by side with Rodrigo Jimenez, that is, and I think that is Rosetta Martinez up at as the two go side by side through Senior and then into Beausset. Jimenez will hold the inside as they're going to scrap away here, bit for qualifying, but it is going to get hairy as you have these three cars condensed very, very close to each other, so everyone's just going to kind of hold up each other here, and that's not going to be too nice, as Jimenez will be overtaken by Thunyatorn Konkum, who still has Rosetta Martinez ahead of him, so he's not going to be able to push for a free lap. I'd say the logical thing to do here is just come into the pit lane and then try and go out again, as Martinez does come into the pit lane.
Yeah, I think you send that message to the wrong driver now, as Konkum is now going to get for another fight as well. He doesn't improve as well predicted as well, and they're just going to keep on fighting throughout this lap as well.
Yeah, Jimenez is going to be there on the inside. Someone tell these boys that it's only qualifying, but yeah, they're immediately going for a bit of practice as Konkum swings around the outside of Jimenez, and he gets it done and defends his on-track position from the Brazilian. As we're looking at Eric Adelberg, only 10th at the moment. Never thought I'd be saying only points, but yeah, this man who has, I think he's just been setting record after record. We've never had this big of a championship lead ever from any driver in Formula 2 history. He currently leads by 49 points from Daniel Fraser as he goes across the line. He does not improve for the time being, and he will stay in 10th.
I wonder if this is going to be a different change in tone for Alderberg as we're seeing at the moment, because maybe he's not pushing because he kind of knows he's his lead will pretty much be unchallenged for the rest of the season. So maybe he's taken a step back, maybe perhaps.
Yeah, definitely could be. But if I were him, obviously, you would want a bit of breathing room between yourself or you. Yeah, no, but yeah, you don't want too much breathing room between yourself and your rival. You think Daniel Fraser is currently in first, and you've got himself, Adelberg, down in 10th at the moment. So, and in those positions, obviously, the midfield, very, very close, very, very packed together. So, if you are 10th, there's never a guarantee that you're going to go up positions. Oftentimes, you could even risk going down positions and falling out of the points, and then you might get stuck there for a few laps. So, yeah, I'd say if he wants a bit of a better guarantee for points, he's gonna have to set improvements, and those improvements are gonna have to come quickly with 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, you can see the cars below him as the drivers below him as well. They're more than capable of toppling outside of the top 10 as well. One of them, which has to be P4, currently in the standings at the moment. Fun fact from Mugello, actually third to sixth in the standings, didn't actually score any points. I've just realised. So this could be a bit of a redemption for any of these drivers if they get any good performances here.
Indeed, it could be very, very interesting to see. But yeah, the question is if Fraser will be able to hold on to that pole with 3 minutes to go, as Tobias Schulenberg is about to go across the line. There is the Carlin into the pit lane. That's Ollie Boaks as Schulenberg goes across the line, and it is no improvement for him, and he's quite far off his own time as well. So it really goes to show how big of an issue traffic is here.
Yeah, what also hindered him as well was Ollie Boaks coming into the pit lane as he was coming out of the exit as well, which kind of slowed down his exit on that lap as well, but 2 seconds slower. It does show that if you're fighting with another driver or if you're behind a particularly slow one, it really is going to affect you in your lap times now as we approach the 2-minute mark left to go.
Indeed, it is going to get quite tight now as Thunderthorn Conkum comes into the pit lane. Alex Broster has just exited the pit lane, so the Brit is looking to do some final few runs. Ari Soilu, we just saw him on our screens there. He's coming in, and he is satisfied with third as Hiddet crosses the line, and up into 14th goes the American. Håkon Olsen managed to set an improvement as well, but the Norwegian, I believe, stays in 7th. Really Sundevik goes across the line. The MP driver will be behind his teammate Thunderthorn Conkum, so they will stay where they are as Daniel Fraser comes in. He will not be defending his time.
Yeah, we see Dragovic and Polka, they're going to finish off their lap times as well.
Whoa! And what a lap from Matija Dragovic, the man who got third in Mugello, has gotten on pole from absolutely nowhere. It's a 1:50.025. He's gone 500s faster out of absolutely nowhere.
P19, the Serbian was at P19 and he's managed to set a lap in the closing stages to take provisional pole, and what a confident pole as that is. 500ths quicker than Daniel Fraser, and Dragovic is on pole as we close the stages of the qualifying session.
Matija has really outdone himself here, and that could potentially be the pole for the Serbia. And also, here's some other big news. Erik Adelberg will be starting at best in 12th. It's going to be 13th as Abrar Chowdhury goes over to 12th. Erik Adelberg, for the first time in I don't know how long, is going to qualify outside of the points.
And he's in the pits as well. He's not going to set an improvement, and definitely not in the time that we have. Here we are with Brosian now. He's going to be in his final run now as the seconds start ticking down. Martinez crosses the line. He improves and goes up into 8th.
Nicely done from Rosetta Martinez, but a redemption for the Filipino man as Håkon Olsen's going to cross the line. Olsen does not improve, and he will stay in 9th as we're waiting for the final few cars across the line. Here's Cuban Grissom currently in last. Let's see if the American will be able to lift himself out of that position as he's going to go across the line, and he does improve it up into 11th for Cuban Grissom. Very, very well done. And he is actually ahead of his teammate Abrar Chowdhury. What about Mateusz Poco? The Brazilian is going to go across the line. The man currently is 21st, and he's up into 18th. So, yeah, nice little improvement there for him. Below us into the pit, Schwulenberg, the German who is in 17th at the moment for number 17, is gonna round the final couple of corners now, heading into the final corner, turn number 15, Pont. Let's see if Schwulenberg will be able to improve from 17th as he's gonna go across the line now, and it is 14th for the German. So nice stuff from him. Roman Chotanus is next across the line in the HWA. Behind him is Rodrigo Jimenez as the two will cross the line. Chotanus does not improve. Jimenez up into 12th. Nicely done from the Brazilian. What about Abrar Chowdhury? Chowdhury does not improve, and unfortunately it will be only 16th for the man from Pakistan. As Remus McGregor, Chotanus' teammate, the Scotsman, is going to cross the line. And let's see if he will be able to improve. And it is pole for Remus McGregor. What a lap!
49,600!
I can't believe it. That is an incredible lap. And that means for the French Grand Prix, Remus McGregor is on pole position. And HWA are back.
That was what a demolishing of a lap as well. Was the first ever sub 150 as well. Absolutely demolishes Dragovic's time, which, given Dragovic's performance so far, is actually really impressive as well. And yeah, this is going to be all an amazing race for today.
That came out of absolutely nowhere, but yeah, let's go through the starting grid then before lights out here at Paul Ricard. So it is Remus McGregor on pole position. DTM champion will line up P1 for the first time in his Formula 2 career, and accompanying him on the front row, it is Matija Dragovic, a very, very unusual first row of the grid. But second row, it will be an all-British second row as Daniel Fraser will be third, from Alex Roster in fourth, and Ari Soilu will line up fifth. Very good qualifying for the two Campos boys. Then we have the two Carlins, Ollie Bogues P6 ahead of Ide Weitz in seventh, and then it is Rosetta Martinez in eighth, with Håkon Olsen in ninth, and Jean-Francois below in his home race, rounding out the top 10.
Ruben Grissom, the American, starts in 11th, and following behind him is the Brazilian of Jimenez. Jimenez starts in 12th. 13 and 14 is both Asians, Kon, the Thai drivers, in 13th, followed by Sundivik, the South Korean American, is in 14th. Tobias Schwulenberg is in 15th, followed by Chowdhury, the Pakistanis, in 16th. Eric Adelberg, your championship leader, all the way down in 17th. He's got a bit of ways to go to climb up to the point scoring position. And the Canadian of Vale is in 18th. Mateus Poco is the second of the Brazilians, down in 19th, followed by the second of the Americans of Hidiat. He starts in 20th. Eduardo Silva is in 21st, and in last place is Chotanus, the Dutch driver, starts in 22nd for today's race.
Indeed, as we're now going to head down to the starting grid. It's going to be 6 lights here at Paul Ricard with McGregor on pole. And we're underway here at Paul Ricard. Good start for McGregor, then not as much for Fraser. Is immediately challenge heading into turn 1 on the inside line. There are two Campos cars there in the background as well, side by side. Fraser is going to go to McGregor then, having a look on the inside line, but it's not enough. He's going to try to bite off more than he can chew here, I do think, as McGregor does defend from the Brit, but Fraser is going to be there heading into turn number 3. He's there on the inside line, but McGregor around the outside does defend. Lightning start for Daniel Fraser then, as Soilu is up into 4th from his teammate Alex Broster. The two go wheel to wheel, then Soilu defends the outside from Broster. The two going wheel to wheel as Alex doesn't get the best of runs. Could that allow Ide Weitz to try and get up into 6th, as his teammate Ollie Bogues has not the greatest starts. He's down into 9th, but he might come under pressure then from the Norwegian Håkon Olsen, who is going to go side by side with it for P6, heading down into turn 8 as he's just a bit earlier on the brakes than Weitz. To go wheel to wheel as Weitz is there on the inside line. Olsen though bounces back, gets a better exit, heading out of the chicane, and he is ahead, I do think, into Senior.
That was an amazing overtake. Now, as you can see, the two Campos drivers are going to go side by side. Not quite anything to persevere there. Weitz is still challenging Olsen as well. And Bogues, I think, he's going to come under pressure from him and as the Brazilian driver. And it's all kicking off here in the second sector. Meanwhile, in the back there, you can see that is Grimsom. I think Grimsom are trying to overtake on Concom as well. Veit is still in the challenge for. Oh, meanwhile, in the back there, you got Concom, and believe that is, yeah, he's trying to make a move. Grissom makes a move on Concom as well. He's going to try and use the outside line, which I think might be the fastest one there. He needs to have a good exit here because if he wants to cover the inside line of the last corner as well, doesn't do it, persevere, and Concom manages to just hold off 12th now as we enter into the first lap now of the race with all side-by-side wheel action here. Oh my god, this is absolutely unbelievable. Meanwhile, in the back there, you can...
my apologies, as we're looking at Thurnitor and Concom, who is going side by side with Kuban Grissom. That is, he's in a bit of a high-tech sandwich here as Albert Chowdhury is there ahead. There is Jean-Francois Bilot, who has fallen down a lot. There in 15th, he's battling Tobias Schulenberg for 14th position as Concom has defended from Grissom. Eric Adelberg is fighting for 17th. So I don't know what's happened to him, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace. I don't know what's going on. As Bilot now goes side by side with Schulenberg through turn 7. Bilot's there on the outside line. The two going wheel to wheel, then heading down the Mistral Straight.
Yeah, you can see below as well, before entering into that straight as well, you can see some tyre marks coming off from that car. That's definitely not ideal, given the technicality of the track here. So this may come hindered to blows him in the later laps as well. As you see, Valet just passes Schulenberg for 15th.
Yeah, that Walji passed then as well, as he's gotten involved into this. Here comes Eric Adelberg on the inside line of the German Tobias Schulenberg. The two go wheel, the former Formula E drivers, as Adelberg stay on the inside line through Beausset. Schulenberg tries to hang it out the long way round as the two go wheel to wheel. I think it's going to be Adelberg who gets it heading into Bendor as he goes around the outside. Yeah, it's still going on as Schulenberg is there. The two go wheel to wheel. And I think he's gotten it down. Eric Adelberg up into 17th. Yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah, he's up into 16th. It's taken him quite a while to gain up 2 positions as well. Ahead of him is Valet and Bilal as well, which will definitely be difficult drivers for him to overtake now as he continues his charge up the field.
Yeah, indeed. We'll see if Adelberg will be able to get up a few positions, as we're looking at Ida Weitz, who is trying to chase down Håkon Olsen for 6th position. So we'll see how that's going to happen. Daniel Fraser, though, losing time on Remus McGregor, who's at the fast lap of the race. So McGregor is pulling away now.
Yep, the Flying Scotsman is actually pulling away from Daniel Fraser as well. It'll still be a British 1-2 at the moment. Dragovic, I think, can look to seal the deal and maybe take away 2nd place away from Fraser as well. He surely has the speed enough to do it for Fraser as well. And it's kind of disappointing for the British ahead of him because he had a very good start, and to see him fall away like that is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it is quite interesting as we look at Thundertorn Concom, who is going to be chasing down Abra Chowdhury. Here he goes on the inside line into turn number 10. The two will go wheel to wheel. The two former Formula E champion rivals as Concom gets it done into Beausset. Nice move there from the man from Thailand as Chowdhury is down to 12th.
Yeah, Concom has done a really good job there to get up to 11th now. He's kind of got a ways to go to catch up to Jimenez ahead of him, but I'm pretty sure that if Jimenez can still... there's a little fight going on between there outside of the bottom 10 at the moment, so I think if they might keep fighting, they might be able... Concom might be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen as McGregor has once again set the fastest lap of the race, and I think Matija Dragovic is going to try and get past Daniel Fraser for 2nd. They're trying to attempt a charge for the lead. We'll see, though, what he's going to be able to do here.
Yeah, we'll definitely see about that. The gap between the two drivers, however, is a bit more relaxed, though, but not quite as drastic as Fraser's currently is to McGregor, as I think McGregor is going to go very aggressive early on, trying to pull a gap away from the rest of the pack, though. We'll see if that works out or not, because, well, we've seen it before in various times that it sometimes does work, and then sometimes it doesn't.
Indeed. Well, that is the case with motor racing, I would say, as they head through the chicane. We're looking at Jean-Francois Bilot chasing the Kuben Grissom there, but I think all those guys are stuck in a bit of a DRS train. As Studinator and Conkum isn't really able to close down on Rodrigo Jimenez at the moment.
No, not currently at the moment, but we shall see, though. It is still early beginnings now, as we're still a lap 4 out of 22, though. They've got a whole race to sit ahead of them to make as many positions as they can, but not quite a lot of fighting going on so far in the early stages, despite all the mayhem that we've had in the first 2 laps.
Yeah, it's calmed down a bit now, as I think drivers are trying to think a bit more strategically. Alex Broster chasing down Ari Soile for fourth. The two Campos cars might go wheel to wheel once again.
We shall see as well. I think Broster has actually caught a bit much up to Solo, so I think it may very well happen. And as he keeps closing in that gap, I think it will eventually happen, though. Dragovic, though, he's closed a bit up to Daniel Fraser, but I don't think it'll be enough to make an overtake so far this lap, though. If he keeps up the pace, though, I'm pretty sure he will definitely get in the next lap.
Yeah, it's going to be... we'll see if he's going to be able to get close enough. Obviously, his best shot is going to come into turn number 10. So he's just going to have to set himself up as best as possible for that corner. As you can see there, McGregor absolutely pulling away from Daniel Fraser in second, as Dragovic now has the DRS into the chicane. Not close enough just yet, but he's going to have a pretty good shot of trying it into turn 10, I do think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good that the drivers are not actually being as much aggressive as they are, however, because if you do go aggressive and your attempt does not work, then it's definitely going to degrade your tires, and then you're going to end up need to be in a completely different conservative strategy, which may be at a risk of losing your position. So I think it's okay that they're all in a single foul just currently at the moment. It just shows that they're thinking a bit more smarter ahead of the race.
Yeah, it's not very F2 like, I have to say. We usually see a lot of action in the first couple of laps, but feel like it might be the opposite this time, as drivers are trying to, as you said, back off to maybe save the tires, which is what I'd say Fraser might be trying.
Yeah, I think he is probably thinking the long road ahead, which is probably why, despite McGregor pulling away from him, maybe there might be a chance in the later stages. From all that time he has been conservating, maybe he could make a charge for the lead. We've seen this similarly in previous races, and it could be the case for Fraser. And given the track-like nature that Paul Ricard has, strategies like that actually do pay off in the end.
Yeah, we've seen it in many times. We've seen it many times in Formula 2 before, where obviously tire wear deficits do play a big role in the race. As
Dragovic is close enough, I think.
Yeah, he's getting very close, heading into the chicane. You can see he's just there through turn 9. I think he should have a very good shot at trying it into turn 10, quite possibly.
Yeah, I think so as well. But he's also got Ari Sulu behind him as well to worry about as well. If he keeps on stalling on his attempts for so long, there's a chance Ari Sulu can maybe find an opportunity and maybe take it as well for himself as well. He's currently in the background though, but he's slowly closing up to Dragovic the more that he doesn't overtake Fraser as quickly as anticipated.
Yeah, he does seem to be struggling a bit, which is weird, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see if he's gonna be able to do it. Daniel Fraser, as we do know, not really the easiest of targets to get past, so Mattia might struggle a bit with that. The man, obviously, who is looking to continue, or I should say, start his podium streak, as he finished P3 in Mugello, probably looking to do it again here at Paul Ricard.
Well, he's definitely on the right step of the line. Currently defending from Dragovic as well. Dragovic is quite close, but not quite close enough to make the overtake on Daniel Fraser. Sure, he may have the DRS advantage, but it's all about Fraser's positioning throughout these corners as well. That kind of gets Dragovic a bit off track, and a good exit as well, which allows for Fraser to maintain that as well. As we're riding with Adlerberg, he's the driver himself. That if he was a constructor, he would be P1 in the standings. Currently, still down at 16th at the minute. He hasn't made any significant charges still at the moment, as he's still behind Valle. Dragovic, though, is actually close enough now, and he's going to make the overtake now as they head into the chicane.
Oh, and here he goes then on the inside line. The two will go side by side as Dragovic is going to try to attempt the switchback. Try to set himself up there, and I think he's done that really nicely, as he's going to have the inside line through Senior. But the question is he close enough heading into the corner? Fraser's going to leave the space as Dragovic is there on the inside line. The two go wheel to wheel heading into Bose. Dragovic trying to go through for second as the two go side by side. Fraser's there on the outside. Dragovic in on the inside, gets it done, and up into second goes Matija Dragovic. Beautifully timed from the Serbian there.
He definitely took advantage of that inside line as well. Fraser just having a bit of a wheel on the outside, which is not the cleanest of the lines, and it paid off for Dragovic as well, as he goes up into second now, and he's got a bit of breather in between him and an attacking Sulu, who is just as aggressive as he is now, as he tries to make the charge to McGregor, who's now 5.7 seconds away between him and Dragovic. So it'll take some miracle for Dragovic to get some godlike pace in order to catch up to him.
Yeah, things are getting very interesting now, and the question is, now that Matija Dragovic's true pace will be unleashed, if he's going to be able to mount the challenge to Remus McGregor, obviously, as Alex Roster is chasing down Are Soilu, who wants to be the next man to try and get past Daniel Fraser and score his first Formula 2 podium, obviously, the man who has been struggling a bit this season in P19, will be wanting to turn things around, as he's going to want to try and get past Daniel Fraser as heading down a Mistral straight. He is already looking very close, but Fraser now, one thing that does come to his advantage, obviously, is the fact that he now does have the DRS from Matija Dragovic.
Yeah, so Fraser will still be just like in the around the back of Dragovic, though, and he can able to perceive it for longer if Dragovic doesn't improve as significant as Fraser anticipated after the overtake as well. Because we see they're both on alternative strategies, but the DRS definitely plays into Fraser's help as well, as he tries to maintain at least maintain a gap between Dragovic and Fraser at the moment. But Dragovic isn't actually quite improving, as McGregor is still improving still. Like within a lap so far, he's already improved by 5 seconds. No, 0.5 seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see then. But Daniel Fraser, I think, could have a possible shot at retaliation against Matija Dragovic. I don't think that battle for P2 is over, honestly, as they're still setting quite similar lap times, and Fraser, who obviously is being aided with DRS, which is one thing that Dragovic does not have, I definitely think in this lap, or at least the following one, could definitely try and get back into second.
Yeah, the special thing about Power Car is that it's a DRS heavy track. It's got 3 DRS zones, and each of them followed by are very good overtaking opportunities. Aside from maybe turn one, but given its angle, but nonetheless, the people who are in the DRS range are the ones that are going to be much looked favorably in terms. And you're right there, because Fraser's still over the back of Dragovic. Maybe he's going to take a piece of his own textbook and maybe make a move in the chicane.
Oh yeah, and he's there on the inside line. He's having a look on Matija Dragovic heading into turn 9, and he does the exact same thing Dragovic on him. He's going to try and set himself up for the straight, and he's got an incredible overspeed here, as he's going to use that to go on the inside line of Dragovic heading into Senior. It's the exact same move Dragovic made, and he's now on the inside line. Can Dragovic defend on the outside heading into Bose? The two will go wheel to wheel, and Fraser does it. He's back up into second.
Whoa. And he actually did it much quicker than Dragovic did on Fraser as well. So Fraser's up into second. So that's pretty surprising given his racing style that we've seen so far this race as well. But that means Dragovic now will have the DRS range and not Fraser, and we'll see if they'll continue to fight once again.
Yeah, I really do wonder how it's gonna play out yeah, I wonder if Fraser will be able to pick up the pace. He is actually, I should mention that he's lapping faster than Dragovic, I do think.
Yeah, well, keep in mind he did have the DRS range and his slipstream behind him, especially in those three straights, which does pay a very good advantage to setting very good lap times now. But Fraser has got both of those. He's got both of those advantages taken away from him, and now it's in Dragovic's advantage now. And now he'll probably set faster lap times than Fraser, and there's probably another chance for a fine once again.
Yeah, as Eric Adelberg is chasing down Nikhil Walji, the man who is struggling, this could be his first non-point scoring finish in his Formula 2 career, which is something I never thought I'd say about anyone. It is absolutely insane, but yeah, here we are. As Håkon Olsen chasing down Alex Broster for P5 at the moment. Olsen very, very close to Broster, but Alex will have the DRS ahead as well, so he has at least a chance of defending from him at the moment. As Ari Soilu, Broster's teammate, chasing down Matija Dragovic for third.
Yeah, Broster is kind of making a gap between Sulu and Olsen. I really thought we were going to see two campus racing drivers kind of combined, considering that Dragovic and Fraser's battle as well. But well, things have gone a bit beneficial for Ari Sulu per se, because he's still in the back of Dragovic though. Fraser is actually a bit more pulling away than I anticipated, given that he doesn't even have DRS. So it's pretty good for Fraser at the moment. He's doing that the best he can, and it's I think it might actually pay off.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it will play out. Right now, though, honestly it is the top 5 we've seen most of the battles from. Midfield has been relatively quiet. You've got some very close gaps here, for instance. You've got Eric Adelberg still chasing down Nikhil Walji. He's been doing this for the past few laps. It's a bit of a shame to see that he just isn't able to push. But yeah, we'll see if anything will be able to change for the Swiss driver later on as we approach the halfway point of the race.
Yeah, the Swiss driver's attitude at qualifying has certainly come to boost him, but not even motorsport analysis like you and I could expect such an amazing performance from the drivers that ended up down in P19 and P22 to make such vast improvements to go up into the top 10. So it surely was a surprise to all the drivers, and probably even the drivers themselves that set the times in Paul Ricard. But it's the way it goes, and given the nature of the track here, Adelberg's definitely going to have a hard time actually catch up, and I really don't think we're going to see him in the points, to be honest.
Yeah, it is a really just weird thing to think about, as Nikhil Walji chasing down Jean-Francois Bilot. He's in a sandwich. Bilot himself isn't really able to make any gains on Kuben Grissom in 13th. I do feel like it is the first time that Bilot finishes ahead of his teammate this season. No, I think it is the second time actually, because he did it once in at the British Grand Prix. This is going to be his second time, which is absolutely insane to think, because Jean isn't even doing that bad this season himself either. He is 7th in the championship.
And he's got a podium to his name as well. So that's nothing to be looked down upon. But yeah, in comparison to Adelberg, his record does look bleak. But given Adelberg is probably having one of the best seasons in probably ever in Formula 2 at the moment, it'll be quite a good breath of fresh air for Jean-Francois Bilot to once again finish ahead of him, as Dragic now is going to make the move on Fraser.
Yeah, here we go as Dragovic is going to try to battle again with Daniel Fraser on the outside line. Will he get the overspeed out of the chicane? Yes, he does. Has a look on the outside. Fraser blocked him there, and that's going to cost him a bit of speed, but he's going to be there on the inside line heading into turn 10. The two go side by side once again, and Dragovic is going to try to swap with Fraser for second position again, heading into Bose. Is he going to get it done? Fraser's there on the outside. The two go wheel to wheel as Dragovic is there on the inside, battle carrying on a bit further, as there in the background is Ide Weitz and Håkon Olsen going side by side through turn number 12. The battle going on into sector 3, but Dragovic, he gets it done onto Daniel Fraser.
Yeah,
what a battle. As there, it's not over yet. Ari Soilu down the inside into the final corner onto Daniel Fraser, comes out of absolutely nowhere, and the battles are really kicking off now. Ide Weitz was defending from Olsen. Olsen is now having to defend from Rosetta Martinez there behind, but Soilu into turn 1 on the outside, dummies him, goes to the inside, heading into turn 1. What a battle as we head into turn number 2. Fraser now has the inside line. Ari Soilu around the outside of the F2 veteran, heading into the braking zone of Hotel. Turn number 3, Soilu's there on the inside. Is he gonna get it done? Yes, he does. What a move from Ari Soilu, and what a battle. But it's not over yet. There's Ide Weitz round the outside of Alex Broster as you know try to get it done on the Brit. It's the Campos versus the Carlin. Broster does defend from Ide Weitz. Olsen does defend from Martinez, as there's Ollie Bogues in the background. Things are kicking off here, Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely as well. You can see Sullivan trying to make a move on Dragovic now once again. It's going to be once again another problem for Dragovic as well, as his second place is now going to come under challenge once again from Ari Sulu now. Sulu is absolutely having an amazing drive here, and he's capitalizing on both chances now.
And look at this, he's absolutely going everywhere. Ari Soilu, where is this pace coming? As he's there on the inside line through Senior. Dragovic on the outside line trying to defend his second place, as we thought it would be Fraser versus Dragovic. It's Dragovic versus Soilu, as through Bose. Soilu has the inside line. This could allow Daniel Fraser to close it, but he's had a massive gap to Soilu at the moment. Mattia holds the inside line from Ari, and Soilu, I don't think he can do it. Dragovic does defend from Ari Soilu. That is quite an interesting turn of events. But yeah, Ari Soilu currently has to settle for third.
Oh my, that was really impressive. Very good attempt there from Ari Sulu. For a moment there, we're going to see in about nearly 2 laps, Ari Sulu goes from 4th all the way to 2nd as well. That is very impressive as well. He's still within DRS range, and he's got a bit of breathing room from Fraser as well. So we can probably see another attack later on in the stages.
Indeed, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what is going to happen, as Soilu is still all over the back of the Dams car for second position. Dragovic fighting for second podium, Soilu fighting for his first this season, as you got Daniel Fraser, who is now within DRS range of Ari Soilu. Obviously, you've got Alex Broster in 5th there as well, who could try and challenge Fraser for 4th, but Soilu is now going to have the DRS on Mattia Dragovic.
Soilu's got the DRS in. Dragovic now is going to do it once again. I think he might be actually close this time to make it through Miran this time. He's going to go for the inside line.
There in the background, look, it's Broster onto Fraser as the two go wheel to wheel.
Oh.
Alex Broster round the outside. He gets it done on Daniel Fraser. But for these guys, it's not over yet. There's a device in the background. It's going to go to teammate Fraser, as Soilu is on the inside line once again, and Mattia Dragovic. Incredible battles we're having here at the French Grand Prix, as Soilu is there on the inside line, wheel to wheel. They will go through Bose, as Soilu holds the inside line. Dragovic a bit wide, as Weitz gets it done on Daniel Fraser there in the background, but Dragovic on the inside gets it done, defending from Ari Soilu. Could we get a replay of that Weitz overtake, maybe?
No,
maybe not.
Maybe not.
But
No, we're
yeah,
limited time at the moment, but yeah, Solo is once again still challenging Dragovic, though. He's still in the back of him, though. But he's got Alex Broster behind him as well, who hidden himself as on a charge. But it's a disaster for Fraser, who's went from second all the way down to sixth as well. And this is kind of the an effect of the domino effect here, especially here in Polar Car. Whenever someone makes an overtake, then there's been a whole charge now. As we see Sudevic now trying to make a move in Poco now. He's going to go for the outside of turn 1, and then he's going to come to the inside of turn 2 now, and they're going to be wheel to wheel heading to the straight.
yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. You got the battle for 18th here, as Sundevic's going to be there on the inside line of the Brazilian, the Harus, but Poco around the outside, he does defend from really Sundevic then in 18th. But we look a bit further up the field, and once again the battle for second will kick off as Ari Soilu is within DRS range of Matija Dragovic, and while all this is happening, Remus McGregor is just enjoying himself in first at the moment, taking in the scenic views of the Castellet as Soilu is there on the outside line, tries to get the switch back on Dragovic then, as now we're heading down the street.
Whoa!
There's Alex Broster out of absolutely nowhere. Here he comes, all his Campos teammates. Soilu, though, is going to go on to Dragovic. Broster tries to get involved into this as Soilu is there on the inside line of Dragovic. Can Alex Broster do anything here, as he's going to try to pick up the scraps from this battle as the two go side by side through Bose? Soilu has the inside with Dragovic on the outside. Can he defend from the fin once again through?
And it's going to go back too wide. That will allow for Broster to go to the inside line.
And he's come out of absolutely nowhere for Ari Soilu. Broster, though, I don't think he can find the opportunity. So everyone will stay as they are. But it is getting really close here in the battle for the podium. It's a P2 battle between Matija Dragovic, Ari Soilu, Alex Broster, and Ide Weitz. Four-way battle for second, JP.
Yeah, absolutely. Fraser also in the background is kind of dropping like a stone, so he's got Martinez behind him as well to worry about as well, along with Olsen as well. But Brusher and Solo as well, they're probably trying to make it a Campos double podium at the minute. Would that be amazing for their team as well? Jimenez is still trying to think in a challenge ahead for Ollie Boaks in front of him as well. But yeah, Ari Sulu is actually not giving up though. He's still in the back of Dragovic though, and we probably can see another fight later on in the stages as well. But keep in mind that Weitz is also behind Broster as well, who both of them will try to pick up scraps as the battle continues.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting to see what is going to happen here, as Soilu now heading down straight will once again have a really good shot at trying it on Matija Dragovic into the chicane. Doesn't try anything this time. There's Martinez as the two UNI cars will try to stop as Fraser stay on the inside line. Martinez is going to try to get past Daniel Fraser, then heading into turn number 10. He's going to go on the inside line. No thinks about the outside. Goes back to the inside line into Senior, as I think that might be the smart choice for Martinez. The two go wheel to wheel as Fraser's going to try to defend the outside line from his Virtuosi teammate. The two go wheel to wheel through Bose. The long left-hander. Fraser runs a bit wide, tries to set himself up for the exit, but Martinez is going to be the one victorious in this battle. As he's up in 7th, or 6th, I should say.
Yeah, Fraser is still not improving as well. He's dropping like a fly at the moment from 2nd down to 7th, and it's still not going to go very good for him as well. As he lacks the pace to try and maintain his position as well. As we got Olsen and Boaks meanwhile behind Fraser as well, and they might be in the midst of the battle themselves, but they surely want to clear the British driver as soon as they can. Meanwhile, in the back you can see a bit of a battle there. I think that was for 15th as well. Yeah, no, sorry, that was 17th and 18th. My apologies. But Vale is still trying to charge for Bilal, and has got Adelberg still behind him. But Adelberg has still not made any positions amidst all this battle going on.
Yeah, just look how absolutely close this field is at the moment. Bar Remus McGregor, everyone else is just fighting away for the positions now, and McGregor's kind of in a world of his own. There, though, is Eric Adelberg, who was having a look on Nikhil Walji, but he wasn't able to succeed with the move, which is pretty strange. Either way, we're gonna look a bit further up the field once again as Ari Soilu is chasing down Matija Dragovic, heading into the chicane. Is he close enough? No. But into the braking zone. Look how close he gets then. Through turn number 9, he should have a good shot at trying into turn 10, I do think, Jamie.
We shall see as well. He's about 3 tenths behind him as well. Weitz and Rust are still not actually close enough. He's going to try and go it again. Bit too early for that, Solu, but he hasn't quite made it. He worked on Dragovic well. He's probably going to save it until the next lap.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see then if Soylu's going to be able to try it and get past.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Martinez and the gap between Martinez and Weitz is a bit big currently at the moment. I think that was probably the issue in regards to overtaking Fraser. I think Fraser's got a very bad tire wear if he's setting really slow paces like that currently at the moment, and it's not going to be very beneficial to those that have to end up overtaking him in the end. Like within a lap already, despite being behind Martinez now, it's down to 1 second as well. So it does show how slow the British driver currently is at the minute, and that's not going to be very good for him at the moment. The man who is currently wanted second at one point is actually in trouble and could be out of the points maybe if this keeps going.
That'll be good news for Eric Adelberg, obviously, if Fraser does fall to the points. But Jamie, I would just like to say this. I'd say we have to really appreciate and take in this battle, because it's been a while since we've had a proper back and forth ding dong battle for second position between so many cars in Formula 2, and it is really, really great to see.
It's absolutely refreshing to see this, especially in the season as well, where it's, well, albeit not the most hype for the championship battle here, but Ari Sulu's going to do it once again now. I think he might be close enough for the challenge this time. He's going to try and go for the inside of Montreal now. He's going to keep the outside line, though, but that doesn't matter because he needs to have enough speed heading into the second straight now. And I think he does it with an optimal exit now. He does, and now Dragovic is now under threat.
Yeah, Soylu's gonna have the inside line. There's Fraser under pressure from Håkan Olsen, but we look at Soylu then down the inside of Matija Dragovic. The two go wheel to wheel, but is Soylu close enough heading into Beausset? I don't think he is, and he isn't. Dragovic does defend into Beausset. There's only Boakes getting past Daniel Fraser into Beausset. The young Brit versus the experienced one, and it is the young Ollie Boakes who does get past Daniel Fraser, and it is just really going wrong for him now.
Yeah, he's still under trouble, and it's still not going to end up. He's still got not enough breathing room because Jimenez and Concom, they're still providing very fast paces, and it's only got 3 laps to go. So Fraser is definitely going to be at the points at this rate.
And the man who looked to be so set to battle for the race lead, things are just going wrong for him. Look, Jimenez is now trying it on Fraser. He's going to go to the outside line heading into turn 1. He dummies him though, and he goes to the inside of Daniel Fraser. The two going wheel to wheel as Jimenez is going to go around the outside. He's going to do it heading into turn 2. You're right, Jamie, and he does it, I do think, heading through into turn number 3 as the two go side by side. Jimenez does it, and up into 9th goes the Brazilian.
Yeah, Fraser is holding into the 10th place by a thread now, and it's definitely not going to be very good news for him and his championship battles ahead. And it's not definitely the performance that he'll be looking for, especially given the circumstances of the season so far. Ari Sulino, he is still not giving up on his battle for Dragovic, though. They've constantly been fighting back and forth, and here they're going down into Montreal again. Once again, Dragovic keeps the outside line and maintains it, but it's the speed that Ari Sulu has. And Chile's not going to be close enough.
Yeah, there's Broster behind. Broster behind is going to challenge Iris Soylu. Look at this. Is it going to be 3 wide heading into Senior? I don't think it is. Broster isn't close enough, and they would be very, very lucky if they'd make it out alive. Going 3 wide into Senior, I think it would end in tears for at least one of them involved. But Soylu through Senior, will he be able to make it stick this time as they head into turn number 12? Ben Dor, as Soylu's going to be there on the outside.
He's keeping a hold. He's keeping a hold.
And I think he's going to pull it off as the two go side by side through Garlaban and into Luck. Soylu round the outside into Luck, and then he's got the inside line to the corner, but Dragovic round the outside heading through the final corner. I think he's got it for second.
Oh, he just doesn't have it yet, but he's still got the DRS range. Oh no, actually, Dragovic has the DRS range because he was ahead of the DRS detection zone, though. But Solo's just going to go down for the inside line, go to the outside line now. This is going to be very beneficial for him because the inside line of the next corner is actually, I think, might be the slowest for Dragovic now. I think Solo might have it in the bag now. They're heading to the corner now. He's going to take the outside line, which is the fastest one, and Ari Solo does it, and he's up into second.
Absolutely monumental battle for second, and what an incredible display of the performance from Ari Soile, who is now up into second. Finally, he's punched through Matija Dragovic, but I am sure that the Serbian is not willing to let that go, as he now has the
Look at
DRS.
that now. Yeah, look at it now. He's actually on the back of him now. He's trying to take a page of his little book now. We're seeing this battle going ahead once again now. He's not quite close enough now. I think Ari Sudo's now asking for his background now. And there's Concom trying to make the move on Daniel Fraser. Fraser is still trying to defend that place now. He's only got about 2 laps or so to hold it as well. But Concom has also got Chowdhury behind him as well to hold it. And Martinez is trying to make a move, and Eddie Weitz now. They're going to head into turn 15 now. He's going to try and swoop down for the inside line now. And it's probably going to push Weitz wide outside of the racing line now. As he does so, I think he might be able to do it, maybe. Yeah, he actually does it, I think.
I think he's done it. As they head through Bend Door, Weitz is there on the inside line, still trying to defend from Martinez. The two go wheel to wheel. As through turn 13, I think Martinez should have it on Weitz, and he does. Very good pace for Rosetta Martinez this race. Very, very nice to see that the Filipino finally has got what it takes, as there's Weitz's teammate Ollie Boaks chasing down Håkon Olsen for 7th. Nice couple of points for Boaks this race, at least. Good to see that he didn't drop out of the points completely. But on lap 21 or 22, it is going to get really, really interesting then. The battle for second between Soilu and Dragovic.
Yeah, but you also need to keep in mind Dragovic is actually a little bit closer to Dragovic than it was ever before. So if this could be ever a chance to capitalize on a moment after the aftermath of the battle, don't count Brochure out, because he's in an optimal position. He hasn't been much in very fights though, but we've shown it in his speed coming out of Montreal. He's got more than enough speed in order to make an overtake happen, and Dragovic needs to be wary about that for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting to see what's gonna happen then, as Ida Weitz is chasing down Rosetta Martinez, who is now without DRS, as heading into turn number 8. Weitz not close enough. There though is still Torn Konkum heading into the chicane. He's gonna be wheel to wheel with Daniel Fraser into Montreal. Turn number 9 now. Is he gonna try to switch back? I don't think so. I don't think he's close enough, as Fraser will be holding 10th. There is the two high-techs battling away. Grissom is gonna go onto his teammate Chowdhury. The two are gonna be wheel to wheel heading through Senior, but Grissom isn't close enough, and Chowdhury does hold his position around the outside, and now Grissom doesn't have the greatest runs. Jean-Francois Bilot has gotten closer to the American.
Yeah, Bilal is still trying to pick up the pieces after his poor start as well. He started in the points and just been outside it. It's not with the closing stages happening. He's trying to make some last-minute position gains, at least for optimism heading into the next round, at least. But now we're heading with Jimenez now, still in the back of Bogues. But I don't think anything will come to fruition. I don't think he might be close enough now. As we enter to the final lap now, whatever positions have been changed here in the last lap will stay when they cross the start-finish line.
Indeed, and now it's gonna get really, really close on this final lap of the French Grand Prix, as you've got incredible battles all up and down the field, especially for the important points-paying positions as well. Got Alex Broster chasing down his Matija Dragovic. There is the two Charus cars swapping, as Schwulenberg has gotten past, or so I think that's Poco is trying to get past Tobias Schwulenberg as the two go wheel to wheel. Tobias though defends the outside, and Mateusz Poco is unable to get past his teammate. But heading down the Mistral Straight, now this is where battles are going to start kicking off, as Broster is going to be chasing down Dragovic. This is his final shot for the podium, and is he close enough heading into the chicane? I don't think he is, and he isn't. As
Fraser, can he maintain his point scoring position as well? He's been defending Colcom for 2 laps now or so. Colcom's now going to try and go for the inside line now, comes into the outside line now. He might be close enough, but I don't think he might have enough speed in order to make it for Fraser. I don't think he does. No, it does. In fact, he's under trouble from Chowdhury, actually.
It hasn't worked for Torn Konkum. He wasn't able to set himself up. Here comes Abrar Chowdhury having a look on the inside. Tried a late lunge there, but it didn't work for Abrar, and he's going to have to stay behind for 12th. But coming round the final couple of corners, the DTM champion revitalized, as he will round the final corner, and an absolute masterclass for the Flying Scotsman. Remus McGregor sees the checker flag first as he wins the French Grand Prix, and what a performance, and coming home in P2 with a really, really solid performance. Ari Soilu is now a podium sitter in Formula 2, and Matija Dragovic continues his podium streak in F2. What a race! That was exciting.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Miran. It was an amazing performance as well to see, and it's just amazing to see all that battling as well. Albeit, me the first one may be kind of a bit different with all the single file racing, but that second half of the race is surely to be a race F2 classic for sure in ACOC history.
Indeed, it was quite interesting and very, very exciting indeed. But let's go through the final classifications then. So, Remus McGregor, pole win, fastest lap, the trifecta for the Scotsman. And I will just skim through these results, Jamie, if you don't mind, because we're on
no worries.
bit of a time limit. So, in second, it's Ari Soilu and Dragovic, followed by Broster in fourth, Martinez, and then Veit, and then Olsen, Boaks, Jimenez, Fraser. Rounding out the points, then it's Konkum, Chowdhury, Grissom, Below, Walji, Adelberg, Schulenberg, Poco, Sundevik, and Hidayat. So,
And Silvan Shotanis.
Yeah, and Silvan Shotanis, forgot about those two. But let's give out driver of the day.
Let's go to Ari Soilu.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Ari Soilu as well, because I think it was a very, very long battle between him and Dragovic, and just the spirit was there, and he just pushed on to take a really, really good second place. But that's been it for Formula 2 today. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a very, very good race. We will see you sometime this week for Formula 1 and then possibly Super Formula. It's a bit iffy with the schedule, but we'll see what we'll be able to slot in. But until then, I've been your commentator, Miran.
I've been Jamie.
Thanks so much for watching. The ACC will return this weekend. Thank you